Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric and Barry here at Moss Pawn and Gun. We got another gun gripe for you this week, and this week's gun gripe is going to be the gun show loophole. All right, and that's a common term that's kind of thrown around, and I guess this pretty much qualifies as another media misinformation type deal, and that's kind of why we want to hit on it a little bit. And the whole myth or media claim is that they want all the little soccer moms to believe you can just go to any gun show and just throw cash on the table and buy all the illegal full auto AK-47s you can afford.
But there is no loophole. There is no loophole at all. It does not exist. If we as an FFL dealer go to a gun show, we have to follow the same rules that we do here. You have to fill out the form, we have to do a background check, we have to call in or whatever. That's the loophole that the media tries to make you believe. A private citizen can go and buy, they can sell guns to each other all day long.
If they are in the same state. Now, you can't sell to somebody that's out of state from you. That's illegal. That has to go, any state-to-state transaction that involves guns has to be handled through an FFL dealer. So, in theory, yes. I mean, if somebody went to a gun show and you decided you want to do business with somebody that's not from the same state as you, then yeah, you're breaking the law. But again, that comes down to the person. As long as that person is from the same state as you and they have a driver's license and you can confirm who they are, then there's definitely nothing against selling from an individual from the same state as you.
Right, you don't have to do a background check, but when you sell a gun to a private individual or you buy one from a private individual, make out a bill of sale, substitute, just like a car, substitute the serial number for the VIN number, get the person's ID, and have them sign it that there's no law preventing them from owning a gun. You don't. It's not your obligation to check their background. And you can do that. You don't even have to do that. The law does not even require you to do that, but to cover your own self. If you've got a gun that you filled out a 4473 on, you just don't want to sell it to any old body and forget about it, because they can go out, if the first time they commit a crime with it, they're going to come and find this form and they're going to come looking for you.
Right, they're going to perform a trace, which, see, it's a common myth that guns are registered, and they're not. There's no such thing as gun registration, at least from a standpoint of federal registration. Now, some states require like firearms owner identification card and things like that, but generally across the board at the federal level, there is no registration of firearms. All the Form 4473 does is allow the authorities to trace the firearm to the person that purchased it. And like I said, if that trail ends with you and you sold it to Joe Blow at a gun show, well, you better be able to tell the cops, hey, this is this person. Having that bill of sale is an excellent way to say, all right, cops, I don't have it anymore, this is who has it. And then they go on their breadcrumb trail and they find who has to go.
And that will be the end of it for you.
Right.
As long as you're out of it, you're not involved anymore, as long as you have a bill of sale showing who bought it and so on and so forth. They go after that person.
That's right.
This form only shows the last legal transferee through an FFL dealer. You don't have to have this to sell a gun to your neighbor. It says right here on this form, you can give a gun away as a gift.
That's right, and that's a common way that people come into ownership of certain guns. We see it on a consistent basis every day in our dealings here. Somebody will come in that they don't really care anything about guns. Grandpa or uncle or somebody passed away, and so through some chain of events they've come to in possession of guns that were from a relative, okay? And we see a lot of times people come in and say, well, I want this gun registered in my name. And we just look at them like, I mean, people just really don't know that there's no registration.
There's no point to do that.
That's right.
Well, they hear gun registration all the time in the media, and they're afraid that if whoever gets elected, this next president, is going to require registration of guns and so on and so forth. Some states do require registration, but Georgia's not one of them.
That's right.
In some states, you actually have to get permission from the local law enforcement to even buy a gun. You have to fill out a form, and then you have to be okayed and checked out before you can even buy the gun. Here in Georgia, if you walk in here with a valid driver's license, and if you have a carry permit, you fill out your form, you pay your money, and you leave. And people can't believe that. I got people from New York and California saying, that's impossible. You can't just walk in a store and buy a gun and walk out with it. Oh, yes, you can. You can in Georgia.
Right, and don't take our word, 100% for gospel. I mean, we're not legal authorities at all. We don't have any kind of legal bearing in terms of our advice other than what we deal with here in Georgia. Always know your local state laws and ordinances and what they require as to where you live. Most places are just going to require that, of course, the person you're selling directly to be required to be a resident in the same state as you. Most states, that's going to be about the only requirement, unless, of course, they require registration. I know there are a few states that do require a post-sale registration once the gun has changed ownership. So as long as you're aware of those types of laws and in what municipalities they apply to, then you'll be fine.
Right.
But in terms of this just giant creeping, gun show loophole that some evil person is going to go and buy all this illegal full auto guns that go kill 20 kids and a soccer mom. That's just not going to happen.
It's just the media.
It's just the media, and it's another example of media misinformation and their ways to basically curtail your Second Amendment rights and to curtail the free flow of information in society and the free flow of ideas and ultimately product in society. I mean, they want to keep the average person from getting guns no matter what the case may be, no matter how they have to lie to do it.
If guns were going to be confiscated, there's more guns out there, there's no paper trail on them than there are guns with this on them. Before 1968, you didn't have to do all this kind of stuff. But anyway, the only way they can control guns is control private individuals from selling to one another. Knows that if I, as a private individual, wanted to sell my neighbor a gun, we would have to go through an FFL dealer, and he would have to fill this out.
That's right.
And he would have to pay a transfer fee, and then he would be the last legal transferee, and there would be a paper trail on that gun. Those guns before '68 didn't even have to be serial numbered.
And that's right. And one thing about this form that I want to make clear also is that when you buy a gun over the counter sale transaction, 4473, everybody, there's this like giant myth that these things get turned into the government and they get into some secret vault where some goblins in a vault, count them out and put you in some big brother system on the internet or computer or something.
Right.
These things are maintained by the dealer. These are kept by the dealer for a period of, I'm not at liberty to say how long, but there's a certain amount of period that they're supposed to keep them.
As long as you're in business.
As long as you're in business.
Okay.
I'll make an amendment there. When it comes to the length of time that the paperwork is required to be held by the FFL holder, it's generally for the whole length that the business is actually open to the public and everything like that. Now, if they change over their FFL type or whatever, sometimes the ATF will require them to turn in all their 4473s, but generally across the board, in terms of them just being turned in and logged or anything like that, there's no nationwide system, there's no conspiracy to have a backdoor registration of guns. 4473 doesn't do that. All it does is allow them to trace the gun, through the individuals that bought it, through the dealers, and where it was sold.
Right.
So, at least so far, there's no.
Right. So there's no restrictions on Mr. Smith selling Mr. Jones a gun as long as each of them know that they're okay to own a gun.
That's right.
So there is no gun show loophole. If you go to a gun show and buy from a dealer, you're going to do the same thing you would in the store. We don't fool around with going to gun shows because we'd have to work 7 days a week for one thing, and somebody would have to take the guns there, take the guns back. There's a lot of risk involved in that, and it's really not worth it.
Guns do get stolen at gun shows. I mean, the truth of the matter is that it does happen.
Right.
Guns do get stolen. One of the things too about taking guns back and forth to gun shows, at least from a dealer standpoint, you get them all scratched up. One gun that had one ding on the stock 1 month, you take it to a gun show 8 weeks in a row, and what happens? You get all these dings all over the stock, scratches, because after a while you get tired of toting them around. And it's kind of hard to take a high-end gun to a gun show because, you know what I mean? You just have to use a lot of care in transporting them back and forth. I mean, things happen like that. I know there's a lot of dealers, at least here locally, that go to the gun show circuit a lot, and one of their overall methods is that they're trying to get rid of some of their hard-to-move inventory at really low prices. You'll have table A set up on one side of the aisle and table B, and they're both selling the same exact gun, and they're going back and forth arguing over $5 at a time until finally what happens is you get them talked down to the point where they're selling the gun at cost. They're not making any money.
Right.
So at least from a business standpoint, there's really not a whole lot lucrative about gun shows. It's just where a lot of dealers go to get rid of their excess inventory.
Right.
You can't make no damn money at a gun show, really.
Well, I think that pretty well sums up the gun show loophole. There is not one. So
That's right.
Don't let anybody tell you there is.
Yeah, that's just another example of the media just being full of it, basically.
Right, right. These gun shows are gun bazaars, they call it. And,
That's right.
You can go there and just buy a gun and walk out with it. That's not going to happen.
All right, everybody, we've got a special treat for you today. This here is Kerry Moss. This
Hey,
is our boss, me and Barry's boss, and he's pretty much the brains behind the whole operation. Mr. Moss.
Well, I appreciate that. You know. Yeah, I'm not here all the time when they're filming stuff, but we do appreciate all you people that enjoy and watch our YouTube. It's a lot of fun for all of us, and I hope that you learn something new every time you look at one of the videos. That's the purpose of it, to help educate people and the public. And like I said, I walk around in the shadows. I try to stay out of the way all I can. But I'm here. I'm here. We do what we have to keep things rolling. So I'll be popping in from time to time.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we're going to be starting doing some other things along this year.
Yeah, we definitely have the Mosses to thank, because you know, the Mosses, they donate lots of hand-loaded components, lots of ammo for the videos. I mean, they donate their time. So, you know, just want to, you know, let you guys meet Mr. Moss, and you know that it's definitely him and his family that you know, are responsible for helping a lot of these videos come to light. And we hope you guys enjoy him. I just wanted you guys to meet him.
And on a point there, I want to talk about the reloading and the ammo and bullets and things like that, of that nature. You know, those of you that haven't looked at our total website, you know, that's on we got an e-commerce section that is opening up real soon here, where we should have all of our materials that we have in the store, and you'll be able to look through and pick, and you can talk to Eric and Barry and Ray about things. They can tell you what we got, and boom, we'll just ship it right to you. You know.
That's right.
So
once all the e-commerce stuff goes completely full circle, I'll make another video announcing it in case you didn't see this, and we'll make sure you guys know what's what. You'll be able to get T-shirts, hats, all that stuff on the e-commerce too, if you so choose. So
yeah, we've got some new shirts and hats coming. They should be in real soon here, and maybe some other things that you might be interested in.
Outstanding.
So we do appreciate what you do to support our business. And have a good day.
Y'all have a good one.